Hi, Tommy Heffernan, vet consultant with Precision Microbes here. In video 3 in our series, we've been brilliant at the basics, equine digestive system and the gut microbiome. I'm going to look at how the foals get their microbiome. I personally, this is really interesting. Again, there's a lot of stuff we can look at across species and, the emerging research that's there. Check out Precision Microbes website, www.precisionmicrobes.com, and hashtag just try it. Okay, so how do our foals get their gut microbiome? So in video 2 we talked about the importance of the equine gut microbiome. It was thought for, I suppose, a long time that the uterus itself, or the womb, again, apologies, last time I'm going to apologise for my artwork, the womb itself is a sterile environment. Well, actually, in fact, it's not. There's some microbes in the womb, but there's not a whole pile. It's actually during birthing, there's, I suppose, an important thing to mention here, when we think about foals in particular and development of the young gut microbiome, that we're thinking about pathogens, which we don't want in there, and we want to look at that development of the gut microbiome with beneficial microorganisms. So when a foal has been born through vaginal delivery, its first real exposure to microbes is through the vaginal microbiome. So if you look at the foal's microbiome at 7 days, it's actually very similar to the equine vaginal microbiome, or microbes that are there. There's also microbes in feces that will help get in orally and seed out this gut. And then we have the environmental microbes. So the foal is exposed to a number of microbes that start going into the digestive tract and start proliferating. Also, if we look actually at a really important role of mare's milk, particularly colostrum, so this is the colostrum here. Colostrum has prebiotics in it called oligosaccharides that help develop and as a feed source for these beneficial bacteria when they're establishing in the gut. So the young foal primarily gets its microbes through vaginal microbes, fecal microbes, the environmental microbes, and even the meconium itself has microbes in it as well. Colostrum then has both immunity and protection for the foal, but it also has prebiotics that help it. And if we look at the digestive tract in maybe a healthy foal, all going well, when we think about beneficial microbes, it's like seeding a garden. And these develop over the first 24, 48 hours, 7 days, and up to 2 months. Foals can have actually microbes in their digestive tract that can actually help them digest fibre. When we look at, I suppose, the things we need to understand then, well, if vaginal microbes and fecal microbes from the mother play an important role, well then a healthy gut microbiome for the mother is really important for the mare herself, because she is going to seed out the young gut of the foal. The other area that's probably of interest is particularly when we look at the environment that the foal is born into. So if we have got a clean udder and the foal is trying to nuzzle to get to first feed a colostrum, we don't want pathogens. So we want to minimize pathogens, because pathogens, when they get in there, like E. coli in particular, can disrupt the young gut microbiome, and they multiply rapidly. E. coli multiplies at a rate of doubles every 20 minutes, and that's big numbers when you think of the millions that can get in there potentially. They're a normal part of our environments, but this is why we focus on hygiene in foaling units. So when we have the young foal's microbiome developing, we get seeding out of the gut. And I think the C-sections are a good example of the potential of or the power of the young gut microbiome through normal delivery. There's a lot of work been done in human babies born by C-section, but also in foals. There's research looking at the type of microbes that seed out the gut during a C-section. It's often from the surgical environment. It's not from the vaginal microbes. So that can have an impact on this garden, if we like, that we're trying to develop, the diversity of the gut microbiome. There's some interesting work on the human side, again, looking at autoimmune disease and things like asthma developing in babies that are born by C-section, and the use of vaginal swabs to actually propagate babies born by C-section. So again, I suppose all it's showing you is just the importance of a healthy foal being delivered, developing a young gut microbiome. At 2 months of age, that gut microbiome is established. It's continuously shifting, even from 24 or 48 hours to 7 days to 2 months. There's lots of factors that will affect that. And then if we look at weaning time, this is a particularly stressful time as well, because we've change of diet, we've change of management, whether it be abrupt or maybe stage weaning. That can impact the gut microbiome. We'll talk about stress's impacts through the production of cortisol, different neurotransmitters and cytokines. So we need to be aware of stressful periods in the foal's development. When we think about foal diarrhea, it can often be caused by pathogens or management or environmental challenges, but particularly when we look at pathogens, there's quite a disruption to the gut microbiome that we also need to think about when a foal is recovering from diarrhea. So a foal's gut microbiome is a bit of a journey for the first 24, 48 hours, 7 days, right up to weaning time. And a healthy gut microbiome being established in this period is really important for overall health. Where we see continuous issues with foal diarrhea, we must think about the impact on the gut microbiome. If you go to www.precisionmicrobes, you'll hear about vets' approaches with precision microbes and particularly with foal diarrhea. Okay. So that's video 3. In video 4, the big one is going to talk about the gut microbiome and its interactions with the immune system. Thanks for listening.
You know, I like to think I put all my stock in Precision and treat it just as a feed supplement that goes with the feed on a daily basis. A, it's natural. B, it has worked for me. And C, you know, the results are both physical looking at the horse, but also in the sales ring. So we're winning both sides.